Every city has a ground floor. Chicago has several. We just agreed to call only one of them the. I didn't come to Chicago looking for a disaster. I didn't come here chasing a theory or a keyword or a neat explanation. I came here because something under my feet doesn't sit right. Chicago, they tell us, is a young city, a fast city, a city that just appeared. No ancient empire, no buried civilization, no deep past, just mud, a swamp, a rough place that figured itself out quickly. And maybe that's true, but then you look down, and suddenly, that story doesn't hold together. In Chicago, you don't need imagination. You don't need conspiracy, you just need eyes. Below the sidewalk, there are windows, not vents, not crawl space openings, not decorative nonsense. Windows, real ones, with frames, with arches, with brick lintels. Some of them still have iron bars, hand-forged iron, deeply rusted. The kind of rust that doesn't happen fast. That kind of decay takes time, a lot of it. And here's the strange part, no one denies these windows exist. They just walk past them every day, like if you don't look too long, no one has to explain why they're there. History likes clean beginnings. A date, a line in a book. For Chicago, they usually hand you this. 1833. A trading post, a few hundred people. Then the numbers climb. 1840, 4,000. 1850, 30,000. 1870, almost 300,000. A boomtown, a miracle city. And that sounds convincing, but speed doesn't cut stone. Speed doesn't build thick masonry walls or shape brick arches with care. And it doesn't finish full ground floors just to bury them later. Growth explains population. It explains chaos. It doesn't explain precision. And when we say Chicago began in the 1830s, what we really mean is this. That's when the paperwork starts. Anything already standing below that line quietly stops being part of the beginning. If you ask long enough, you'll hear this. Chicago raised its streets. Yes, it did. After floods, after disease, after the smell of a flat city with bad drainage. There are photographs, wooden boardwalks, temporary walkways, men standing ankle-deep in dirt. All of that is real, but slow down. Raising a street is not the same thing as burying a building. Raising a street doesn't erase doors. It doesn't turn ground floor windows into underground artifacts. Most street-raising projects were modest. A meter, maybe two. They were planned, documented, messy, but recorded. What we're seeing here, uneven, inconsistent, and deeper than it needs to be. If this was a plan, it was a strangely careless one for the financial heart of a city that prides itself on engineering. Let's talk materials. The buried levels in Chicago are built from early fired brick, Indiana limestone, lime mortar, not Portland cement, not cheap filler. Lime mortar takes time, skill, patience. You don't use it for something temporary. You don't carefully finish underground levels in a town that barely exists. Not when labor is scarce, not when money is tight, not when speed is everything. And Chicago back then lacked all three. Let's do something uncomfortable. Let's count. 1 floor, about 3 meters. 2 floors, 6. 3 floors, 9. That's one building. Now multiply 1 block, then another, then the entire loop. Where did that dirt come from? Who dug it? Who hauled it? Who dumped it? Who compacted it? And this part matters, who paid for it? No one moves that much earth without writing it down, not in Chicago. Chicago records everything. Except this. History doesn't always lie. Sometimes it just skips ahead. There's no comprehensive record of a city-wide earth-filling operation, no massive contracts, no labor logs, no clear engineering reports, but the buried levels are still there. In archaeology, silence isn't empty. Silence has shape, and that shape is under your feet. I'm not saying Chicago was buried by a mud flood. I'm saying the ground level changed after these buildings already existed, and the story begins after that change. Maybe it was sediment, maybe it was forgotten restructuring, maybe it was a quiet reset that didn't destroy, it just covered. You don't have to choose, but you can't say nothing happened, because buildings don't bury themselves. I don't hate history. I just don't trust it to tell the whole story. Chicago isn't lying. It's just built on a layer of memory we were never taught how to see. So if you live here, next time you walk, don't look up, look down. And ask yourself, who decided this was where the story starts? This file stays open, not because it's dangerous, but because it's uncomfortable. And sometimes that's the only sign you're standing in the right place.